Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, here we have this old Acer Aspire One netbook. It has an Atom N450 processor with 2 gigs of RAM installed. Currently has Windows 10 Pro on it, probably 20H1 or 20H2, one of those two builds from what I can tell here. It's a 32-bit install, 64-bit based processor, so that makes me wonder, will this thing run Windows 11? So I have a flash drive here and I have the Windows 11 files on it. Actually, this is my Windows 10 installation flash drive, but what I did is I copied over the Windows 11 install.esd over to the 64-bit directory of this flash drive, and we're going to attempt to install Windows 11 on this netbook. So I'm going to pop in the flash drive. Tell you what guys, the USB ports are still good and tight in this thing. It's hardly ever been used. Yeah, these netbooks, a lot of them simply didn't get used much. They got used a little bit and then they got tossed into a drawer and forgotten about. Because a lot of them were notorious for not being very fast. I tell you, the style of computer was definitely ahead of its time, but unfortunately the CPU power, the low power consumption aspect of a performance CPU simply was not there at the time, so that's one of the reasons why these things never really caught on. And of course the iPad came out later on, and then we have tablets and phones, and that's why these things never really caught on. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and see, I tried to run the PC help check, but it wouldn't run on this thing. But we'll see if we can get Windows 11 on here. And since it wants to update, since it wants to install Windows updates, I'm just going to go and do a hard shutdown here. I ain't got time for that. Having to find the correct button to press for boot order. We'll select 64-bit Windows 10 setup. Now again, as I mentioned, the installer is actually a Windows 10 installer, but I did copy over the Windows 11 install.wim/install.esd. Install.esd is actually what we're working with here. And we're just going to we're going to run through setup here and see how we get with this thing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run through setup here. Okay, so this computer already had a Windows 10 digital license, so we're going to skip this part here. Say I don't have a product key. It's going to install Windows 11 Pro. Accept the license terms. Select custom. And we just got to get rid of all the existing partitions. Okay, we'll let this install. Okay, it's restarting. So it says. That took about long enough. So this will be the first startup of Windows 11 on this netbook. Okay, finally, here we are. Oh yeah, I didn't guarantee this will be fast, by any means. Skip this part. We'll connect later. Interesting, the trackpad is fully functional. Even the scroll works. Of course, you know me, I'm going to skip the high we're happier here, or the high we're setting things up for you. Task Manager. Of course, as y'all probably know, I'm looking to kill the Microsoft OneDrive startup option. And of course you see the CPU is pegged out as I would expect on this thing. There it is, trying to start up. Yeah, it just simply hasn't populated the startup field yet, so yeah, so you can see CPU is pegged out with Task Manager at times using 30% of the processor. We have our desktop. So I haven't even connected this to the Wi-Fi yet. There's our start menu, which takes up almost all the screen on this. Definitely not running fast at all, but I mean, it is running it. Yeah, for some reason startup is not populating in Task Manager. Alright, so I'll go ahead and connect this to the internet, that way it can do its thing. It is definitely, as I was expecting, it wasn't going to run fast, but it is running Windows 11. This poor netbook, that's all it gets is abuse nowadays, running stuff I never imagined it'd ever run. Still nothing in startup. Anyways, it's going to install some additional drivers and software, so I'll let it run for a little bit and do its thing, and then we'll come back here in just a moment. Okay, so yeah, I just had to restart Task Manager to get the startup things to pop up. So now we can go and kill OneDrive setup. Go back to processes, and you can see, of course, that CPU is pegged out. Look at that, you had 26% utilized by Task Manager for a second. So I did pull up the settings window. Let's go into the classic control panel. And of course, if you've ever used a netbook before, you probably are aware of the very small amount of real estate available on the screen of these things. Seeing what drivers are missing here. Yeah, one thing I was curious of is if like the graphics driver and stuff was even on here. That's the disk drive. So we don't have our display driver yet. So yeah, like I say, we're going to let this thing sit for just a little bit. Let it install the needed drivers, and then we'll come back and explore around a little bit. Okay, so I've gotten the particular driver installed for the video, and I've installed a couple other things. So now let's go ahead and have a look here. So it's turned off right now, so we'll go ahead and start up, and we'll get to watch startup and everything else. So here we go. Windows 11 on an old netbook. Still loading here. As you can hear, we actually had a startup sound there. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is going to pull up Task Manager. And I should mention that later builds on Windows 10 also run painstakingly slow on this thing. But yeah, it actually comes to show what Windows 11 can theoretically run on. Now, of course, I wouldn't recommend installing Windows 11 on one of these old netbooks as your daily driver because, yeah, the performance will just be terrible because these netbooks are just so underpowered by today's standards. So yeah, this particular machine, if we go look at the specs, we'll go into settings here. And of course down there you see that little blue box there, that's the CPU pegged at 100%. This thing has nothing but just basic integrated graphics. No APU, none of that. You know, no APU style graphics, nothing like that. Just classic chipset motherboard graphics. So the graphics are definitely not the greatest on this thing, as you may have been able to see the transitions and stuff with the windows don't operate very smoothly. Going here to about. It's an Atom N450 CPU, 2 gigs of RAM. We have a 64-bit OS. Of course, Windows 11 is only available in 64-bit. There's no 32-bit version available. So if we get out of this, if we pull up the PC Health Check I installed, we can show you just how bad this thing fails the Windows 11 requirements. Last I thought it was still loading. You may be able to see right there, memory usage is already at 75%, so we have nothing more than the settings, task manager, and this PC Health Check opened up, and we are using the RAM pretty hard. It's funny, introducing Windows 11. Yeah, this was definitely intended for this application was definitely intended to be running on Windows 10. If we do the check there, you'll see just how terrible this thing fails the minimum requirements. And you have this tiny little window here. The PC does not support secure boot. There's no TPM, no TPM at all actually. Processor currently isn't supported. There must be at least 4 gigs of system memory. See how it results. You have to go back up. The processor clock speed passes. The processor has 2 or more cores. It's actually a single core. It's just 2 threads. You see how we had the check mark there, but yet it also says processor cores 1. It's because this is a 2-thread CPU, which we may be able to see in Task Manager. You can see cores 1, logical processors 2. There's our cache, by the way. We have just 512K of L2, no L3. As you can see, things are quite slow on here. It claims that the battery capacity is actually 78% of the design capacity. That's interesting. I can say that this battery, this netbook will shut off before the battery gets down to like where it would normally shut off at. So we know that the battery is not in the best of condition. I mean, this is the original battery to this netbook. But we just go ahead and poke around in settings here a little bit. We can just look again. So you can see I have changed the personalization to have it set up as dark mode. Now, I don't have the hotfix installed to where the default apps selection is fixed. I'm not going to cover that in this video. I may get my other Windows 11 machine up and going. That AMD A6 system install that hotfix and assess it in a separate video. We'll see. If we look here, you can see that it's usable but not usable. I mean, you can navigate around the OS, but it's just things are just slow. Things are just very slow, and like I said, that's actually kind of a Windows 10 thing too. I mean, look how long it's taken to pull up the calculator, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's just crazy how long it took to pull up a calculator of all things. You can see with the calculator is usable, but it takes a while to come up. And we got the multiple desktops. So we could do a new desktop if we wanted to, but again, with just the 2 gigs of installed memory, it just would not be all that good at all. I mean, again, there is the stuff that it downloaded and installed. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a real fan of the Windows 11 start menu coming up in the center, and it's just not as useful as like what you would have in Windows 7. What I can do before I end this video is I could install the start all back. I may actually do that on video too, just to show you how how quickly or how slow this thing will take to install something. So there's the camera application. This thing does have a webcam. We'll see if it works. Yeah, look at that CPU just pegged at 100%, roughly. 75% memory used. Yeah, look at there. Piece of crap webcam from 2008, 2009. I think this is a 2009 machine, maybe 2010. Doubt it. It shoots probably, I'm gonna say 480p video there. This is crazy. So we'll go ahead and fetch that start all back just to show you how it would change some things on here. I did want to get some footage of the actual Windows 11 start menu and all that stuff. Yeah, look how long it took just to pull up the File Explorer. This thing does not have a very good trackpad. It's got this texture on it. The older Aspire one I have, the original one, the trackpad is actually a lot better in my opinion. There's start all back, and we'll just go ahead and launch that. It's not a very big utility, so it shouldn't be too big of a thing to load over Wi-Fi. Just to demonstrate how long it would take to install a simple program on this thing. User account control. I mean, you can see it's running. It's running, but it's just slow as you would expect for a netbook. That actually seemed to have installed pretty quick for, at least for this kind of hardware. I was expecting it would have taken longer. But you can see what it's done here. It's rearranged the icons back to the bottom left corner. So we'll choose the proper 11 for now. Okay, you just have to toggle it to select it, and then we'll close that out. And of course, there's the Windows 7 style start menu we all know and love. I just posted a video on YouTube not long ago. You're saying, remember back when Microsoft Windows was actually pro user? I mean, it's the truth. Yeah, we have the new. We have a much better start menu there, and of course, if we right-click on the taskbar now, we actually get options, not just taskbar settings, which you have to click to open up in settings. And also, if we are in, let's say, File Explorer, see, sometimes, guys, I'm not sure if I actually click something or if I click it and it's just lag, there's lag there. Okay, there's File Explorer. Let's see if it comes up again for a second time. Okay, like for example, I don't really have anything saved on here, but okay, we got a folder. So if we select select the folder and right click, we actually have options there, not just a little compacted menu where you have to actually click show more options or whatever it's called to get everything you need. And last but not least, we'll go and demonstrate Microsoft Edge here, which is of course Chromium based. So we'll do a little bit of internet browsing on this thing. Won't do a whole lot. See if we can do a search for YouTube. That way we actually go to Google. And I did go in and I did change the default search to Google and a couple of little odds and ends here. You can see how long it's taken just to pull up a search page. Okay, so how about we search for my channels. See how long it takes for it to start pulling up recommendations here. You can see it's still loading according to that. I got a little bit of type lag there. More type lag. And then you can see then it starts pulling up recommendations, and I've already pressed enter, so now it's going to do a search. So yeah, this is not something I would suggest using to browse today's web. I mean, today's web it takes a lot more horsepower to browse because of modern web standards. So of course we can go to the channel, and heck, let's go and open up a new tab. Yeah, open a new tab. Still loading on the first tab. Still loading on this tab. Get that task manager back. That way we can see our green, excuse me, our blue box there. It was green in Windows 7. CPU pegged out. Memory pretty close. Probably using a lot of virtual RAM right now, slowing things down even more. Hard drive is actually not being accessed all that much, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't bother even. It's one reason I didn't even bother putting a solid state drive in this thing, is because these netbooks are just so underpowered that the last time I tried a SSD in a netbook, the CPU and everything else on the thing was just so bottlenecked that the solid state drive was just, it's like it was taking a vacation. It wasn't hardly getting any work to do. It's like, come on, hurry up. Basically, like in reference to the SSD, telling the computer to hurry up. It try to load QComp MDX over on this tab. And you can tell there's definitely a lot of memory swapping going on here. Lots of lag. Still loading QComp MTDX. Still got PC health check pulled up. We'll go ahead and close that since I think we're done with it. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. CubeComp MDDX is growing at a faster rate of subscribers now than Cube Computer Channel. So if you enjoy videos on Cube Computer Channel, by all means, subscribe, check that bell, get notified when I post new videos. Yes, I totally understand. For about a year or so, I didn't really hardly be, I wasn't posting hardly any videos because, well, the home project. But yeah, let's see what it's gonna be like to actually. Let's see if we can even watch a video on this thing. It's still okay. I was gonna say it was still loading CubeComp MDDX, but no, it's just like I say. This is what you get when you have low RAM.
Today is a Cube Computer Channel special presentation.
And you can see bringing up that card there slowed things down a little bit.
In this video, I'm going to give you an example of how hot CPUs can get.
Now let's see what resolution we're playing at here. 144p, and it's still struggling. It's still struggling at that.
Some baloney on an Intel Celeron 1.8 GHz OEMEC core CPU. And now we're going to go ahead and apply power.
Dang, guys, if I could be 19 years old again, that would be so nice. That's how old I was in this video. 19. And I'm almost 31 now.
Drop of water.
No, I don't want to see YouTube TV.
You see, it's already hot.
It's crazy. YouTube TV is almost as much as cable now. In reference to the introductory offers you get from the cable. And the thing is actually playing a video, although at a very, very small resolution. Yeah, 144p. I tell you guys, these netbooks, it's such a shame that the technology just wasn't there for having something in a compact package that actually had some decent power. I mean, the AMD E-Series APUs came out, what, 4 or 5 years later, roughly? 3 years, 4 years. If these little things had those E-Series APUs and a higher resolution display, I think netbooks would have caught on better than they did.
By the way, this is what the board is saying I'm posting. You see there's no RAM installed on the motherboard. I don't imagine what it would do if it was under load.
Yeah, it's funny, scrolling causes the video to
Get flipped over here.
to
You see it?
slow up.
Really cooked the first side.
Yeah, guys, that's web browsing on this thing with the presumably the latest version of Edge on Windows 11. Yeah, I tell you what, guys, it's just crazy. Yeah, let's come pull a. Let's actually do this. Let's make a new desktop here. Desktop 2, we'll pull up a browser. Again, you can see this thing is just struggling. And I tell you what, guys, this thing is hot too. This thing is really hot. Okay, so on desktop 1, we have the Edge browser loading up. So desktop 2, heck, I don't know. Let's kind of pull Task Manager. Wait, actually, no, Task Manager should be. I guess it's still in desktop 1. So we're going to pull up File Explorer over here. And what else? What else? So I do like how this particular menu puts apps in their own folder. So we still have, interesting, in Windows 11 we have Snip and Sketch and Snipping Tool. It's funny, for a while Microsoft was like, oh, we're going to discontinue the snipping tool. There's the Solitaire collection, which may require a Microsoft account. I don't know. We'll see. See how that loads on here. Now, of course, if I was really into the games, I would just download. There's a package you can download to get the Windows 7 style games back. I'm not really do too much here, but yeah, look at this. It's actually running it. So you get all these different options. Yeah, guys, I never really messed with this before. Yeah, this poor netbook is struggling so hard. Yeah, pardon me, guys. I've never have really messed with Solitaire collection. So we got Microsoft Solitaire collection on this desktop. If we go back to our other desktop, you can see, of course, we have the Edge browser and Task Manager. And of course, that CPU is just struggling. And as I said, guys, you look at the hard disk activity. The hard drive is not even struggling here because, well, the rest of the computer is so bottlenecked that it's not really giving it that much to do. Even with the low amounts of RAM that we have, I mean, this RAM, it's up there. It's definitely up there on utilization. I'm not going to watch a video, but let's pull up Computer Channel. So we got that going. Yeah, guys, I won't bore you out. I'm just kind of just fiddling around here now. Yeah, this is Windows 11 running on a netbook. And like I mentioned, you can see it's just, things are just slow. It's like I mentioned, it's not something I would exactly recommend because it would just be so slow. But yeah. Close out that desktop there. Go back to our first desktop. It's still loading. Cube Computer Channel. Yeah, guys. Windows 11 on an old Acer Aspire One netbook. This page isn't responding. No, you think? So yeah, like I mentioned, we did locate the display driver. I had to go on Windows Update and manually fetch it because I think previously it was just running at like probably either 800 by 600 or 1024 by 768. I mean, these netbooks. Oh, there we are. There we are. Starting to load now. But yeah, the screen resolution on these netbooks is just horrible to begin with. So, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So we'll close everything out and do a shutdown. Windows 11 on an Acer Aspire One netbook. Still shutting down. Still shutting down. There we are. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the computer channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support and thanks for watching this video.